making sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
luck.
Thank you, Sua. And I think we are live now.
Yes,
Okay. Good luck.
we are live now.
Awesome. Ladies and gents, welcome to the Sonic Riders Regravitified DevStream. I'm joined by Zithel, who's the head dev of RG, as well as Pixel and Cybersonic, who will be our lab rats, our gameplay testers, so to speak. But yeah, I will hand it off to Zithel now, who will fill you in.
Yeah, as let me just bring up my notes real quick. I should have actually had that ready.
Go for it. We are currently getting into game with the Dolphin program. Hopefully it doesn't cause us too many issues, as it has done for many people in the past. Fingers are crossed, fingers are crossed.
Yeah, dolphin issues, we can't really do much about those.
Thank you for the host.
No problem.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. It appears to be working.
I need to stop the game because we haven't done resaves.
Ah, right.
Yeah. So, something to keep in mind, I'm sure Zith will talk about this more, is that this game has an updater, which we are not going to use actually, because that seems to be the problem. So someone hasn't updated, is why that's happening. But that's fine.
But the problem in 1.0.1 is like level up gears can be kind of wonky on certain stages.
Well, don't play them then.
Okay.
Yeah, someone didn't update, basically. And that's why that's happening.
Cyber?
I did update.
Oh, there's no port one. Lol.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Regravitified was a mod generally created to further enhance the general gameplay of Zero Gravity in addition to trying to make it more competitively viable, similar to the vein of the original Sonic Riders. There was also a lot of talk about it generally feeling sluggish and the like. So we sped up the game by approximately 15%. A major focus was generally player interaction. Windows sound effect.
Yeah, player interaction is pretty key.
Yeah, one of the major improvements was boosting upon command, which was originally relegated to an attack item. Although the attack item actually functioned far more like a traditional kart racer, giving you near 100 more speed in vanilla and lasting for 10 seconds. Heck, Hitstone originally was 5 seconds. Yeah, boosting functions both as a means of going faster in addition to being able to attack the opponent and put them into hit stun. You also gain a bit of GP or rings back depending on if you're a GP or ring gear. The addition of boosting also makes the game far more reliant on the amount of GP you currently use in the game, making the game just far more GP tight as a whole. Another primary form of interaction for a cost was the GV, or Gravity Void, which does slow you down and ends your boost. It is the purple and cyan vortex that is occasionally being left behind. It will actually put another player into hit stun if they touch it, but it disappears on contact. Ah, yes.
No Tom, no ad.
Ah, yes, gravity dive rings left behind from gravity dive now also give GP in addition to not slowing the character down. I don't know, you should have saved your channel points, Twonk.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Should have saved it
True.
for future usage.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've talked about boosting. We've talked about add next stream. Yeah, why not? I'll consider. But yeah, continue on. Lap 4 routing? No, we won't have any. Not
Wait, Pixel, what stage, what stage? Oh, okay.
You're doing the normal thing where you go to all the hero stages, then all the Babylon, I take it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I did not desync Pixel. That was actually Moe that it was saying.
It's because
desync.
it stops. The game stops.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I press the stop button.
One of the other major changes was the charge jump system, which was changed from vanilla, but for a rather odd reason. Despite common belief, the jump system in a vanilla zero gravity is not just time your jump on a ramp. There are other requirements to actually get ascension trick ranks. To increase your trick rank from your base trick rank. Your base trick rank would be determined by where you jump off the ramp. The ascension trick ranks are just basically requirements when you jump off.
So it's like a checklist, right? It looks through and sees if you have everything fulfilled. You get a good ascension trick rank.
Yeah, for every condition you meet, you get +1 to your trick rank. But there are only two. The first one is a percent of your percent of your current speed compared to your top speed. You need to at least be at a certain speed threshold. The second was a staling system where you needed to hold a different direction compared to the previous 3 directions. However, the thing that was actually problematic for this was the speed requirements.
Why was
because,
it?
the reason why it was actually problematic was because it overvalued Excel as a stat to the point where only 4 gears in the game could properly X-rank certain ramps. It was literally impossible to do it on any other gear. That would just cause certain gears to lose out on GP for no fault of the player, even if they were playing perfectly.
It doesn't seem very... that seems a bit rushed. I'm not gonna lie.
True.
As a result, we have replaced it with a charge jump system where the ascension tricks are based on how long you charge, and you still get the base rank trick for where you jump off. So you could go risky and go more towards the end of the ramp and charge less, or you could charge more and jump out off at the middle of the ramp for a safer trick. But because charge jump slows you down based on your excel value this time, you do end up going a little slower if you take the safer trick.
I will turn game audio down. My apologies.
Ah, yes.
Alright, so there's a lot of gears in this game.
Yes.
What do you pick? What's the go-to? What's the good stuff?
Well, a majority of the gears that have been changed are all relatively good. Although there are quite a few gears that haven't been changed. Among the gears that have been changed, we have Beginner, Lightboard, Shooting Star, Hyperdrive, Big Bang, Cover S, Cover F, Cover P, The Crazy, Supersonic / Chaos Emerald, Angel Devil, Throttle, GP Accumulator, Skill Booster, Fastest, GC Booster, and GP Tank.
That's a lot of gears.
Yes. I will go through each and every one individually. The two that we see here are Lightboard and Hyperdrive. Hyperdrive is a diving gear that has a really fast dive speed, but has a rather ludicrous dive cost. So it can't dive for very long, but it goes quite fast. With its gear changes generally augmenting its GP gauge dive speed even further to up to 350 and reducing its dive cost slightly. Lightboard, on the other hand, is a boosting gear that actually forgoes its ability to attack. It also doesn't have gear changes proper, but rather gear switches, because it's supposed to be a replication of the Freerider's style. So it kick dashes for a cost, and the speed lingers for a while, much like a boost from the original riders.
How weird.
It also levels up at 60 rings and 120 rings. This causes its boost duration, boost speed, boost duration and boost speed to both be increased. In addition, your GP tank size increases as you level up. You can be leveled down if you lose too many rings though, and go back to your previous levels.
So it's like one of the older gears with the level stuff, but it also has Freerider's features, right?
The thing is, Freeriders actually did incorporate the level mechanic and everything.
Oh.
So it's truly just replicating Freeriders.
Yeah,
But Freeriders came out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they brought it back.
So you could say Freeriders replicated Lightboard. It's Lightboard the game.
A major benefit that Lightboard has over other gears, because it doesn't have a traditional boost and has a kick dash, is that it has instantaneous excel.
Yeah, that's something I've noticed, is that when you boost, you don't actually, like... It's not like the original game where you immediately go at your boost speed. You sort of ramp up to it, so to say.
Yeah. That's generally because of how the boost mechanic works in this game, and it actually helps to differentiate a kick dash to a normal boost. However, there is one unique boost, and that is Supersonic's boost, which was originally his hyper state. Supersonic's boost did also work as a hyper state in vanilla with an attack, but it was significantly slower than everyone else's, moving at 180. The main difference here is that Supersonic's boost actually has automatic excel, but it doesn't give you instantaneous excel like Lightboard's does. And it does allow you to attack as well.
know that Supersonic was pretty... he felt very unfinished in the original. So, you know.
He very much so was. He actually had a glitch with his attack that would cause him to lose collision with all the other players for the rest of the race if he ever attacked anyone.
What a nice character.
I did correct that glitch, so now I can actually attack people regularly. In addition, we are seeing both ring gears here, but ring gears have been reworked quite heavily. Such as starting with 30 rings out of the start line, and they even have a representation of rings to GP on the bottom. But a majority of the ring gear rework is done at the assembly level, and a little bit hard to tell, but the fundamentals of how they work has actually been completely recoded.
In what way? What's different about how ring gears work between the original and the mod?
Well, ring gears in the original game, despite well, GP uses a float value, which is a 32-bit precision value, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, ring gears used rings, which was a 16-bit integer. This caused a lot of weird things because you could lose a fraction of a GP while gravity diving, so ring gears actually had their own functions for gravity diving and controlling. This caused them to actually lose a ring every frame that the function executed, making it literally unable to change gravity dive or control costs, or even passive ring drain.
Yeah, one ring every frame also sounds very steep.
Well, it was actually based on a function that calls the function a certain times in the frame. Like for Supersonic's gravity dive, it would actually call it 5 times a frame.
Oh god. That's a lot.
Yeah. So I've actually completely recoded it to work with GP functions, and actually have it interpolating between GP and rings by the frame.
Because I know that I don't think ring gears had like a GP meter in the original, right?
They did not.
But now they do.
The GP meter is purely just to get an idea of where your exact ring count is, because you can have fractions of rings now.
Yep. So we've talked about ring gears, we've talked about most of the gears, and we've talked about mechanics. What else? Because there's a lot of things that have gone onto this mod.
Characters.
Well, I guess I could talk about character archetypes. In the original game, characters were generally simply only useful for their stats. They didn't grant a type, and this is actually gets into part of the reason why characters now have their inherent type. The other reason being gears that started with a type would be inherently relatively overpowered. Like, on a rail-centric stage, why would you play anything that isn't escape?
Very good point.
The thing here is, by both giving characters a type and an archetype, it actually makes every character useful in their own ways, because the archetype gives a character certain beneficial stats. Because we've actually generally normalized the stats between characters, so no character is strictly better than another, but we've given certain benefits to archetypes of characters over another. such as top speed granting 5 top speed, excel granting 25% excel, which also gives a bit of dash panel speed, and handling characters would give 15%, well, ground handling. But this also increments your handling while using gravity control. This does generally cement them to certain types of gears as well, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think it matters like what you do. There will always be some characters that are better on some picks in a system like this, right?
Yeah, there will more than likely always be certain characters that are better on certain gears, but I was trying to make certain characters not better in general on stages or the like.
Yeah.
However, there is still reason to pick the other archetypes of characters on specific gears. Like, for some reason, you might actually have a very dash panel heavy stage, but it might still be a cruising stage, so you might go for fastest and like Amy. Because the gears are broken down into a few different archetypes as well, which are control, diving, boosting, cruising, GP efficiency, and combat, technically. Although there's only one combat gear currently, and it's
Do the stage music box.
You can actually select the stage music by holding a button while the stage loads. It also works while reloading the stage.
So if I load into a game and I forget to pick a song I like, I can just press restart instead of quitting out.
Yeah. As long as you hold the button while you restart. There is a slight exception to gears no longer having type shortcuts anymore, and that is the cover series, because we made them the dedicated type granting gears. However, they do have a special little thing if you actually pick them on the type they grant, where they augment the type shortcut.
So if you pick a key on a power type.
Yeah, when you hit power objects, it actually gives you 20 speed per power object you hit.
We had a running gear? No.
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 No more run.
Throttle, in this instance, is a gear that has slightly more excel, but is generally a utility gear that can situate itself to most any circumstance, because it has the unique gear change of throttle, which rotates between 3 gear changes. One that gives plus 10 top speed, one that gives plus 10 boost speed, and another that gives you 25 GP tank size. All 3 of its gear changes are like this, so you can suit into whatever archetype you like, just about.
So throttle is sort of like a build your own gear.
More or less.
That's actually a pretty cool concept.
But as stated, it also starts with some inherent excel. Throttle also has relatively low gear change costs. The primary problem is Throttle's gear changes are timing based, so you do need to be able to time them to actually get what you want.
Void out there. This game does feel a lot faster than vanilla Zero Gravity. I will give you that.
Also, when you said like build your own gear, I guess they really went with that idea in Free Riders. Now that I think about it.
Considering you can exchange gear parts in that game.
Yes.
Although that made certain gears with inherent special effects rather broken in that game.
True. Also, speaking of running, there's only like 2 gears that can actually run in this game, and that's our Crazy and Supersonic.
The ring
Yeah,
gears.
we actually did retain Ring Gear's ability to ring out. It was debated on whether or not to remove it, but we decided to keep it anyway.
How would they work if they couldn't ring? Like, you'd just be at 0 rings and cruising.
Yeah, pretty much. It'd be similar to GP gears. However, at the same time, if we did remove ring gears from ringing out, there would be no reason to keep passive ring drain, and I would probably get rid of it as well. There is one thing to note about boosting, however. For fly shortcuts specifically, you, while you're boosting, you can't actually make the fly ramp go up, let alone even if you go off of it. If you are in boost state, you will just fall off of it.
So you can't fly while in boosting.
However, you can circumvent this because you can cancel your boost at any time by charging your jump.
Oh, so it's like you can choose if the fly ramp goes up or not.
Yeah. Power just kind of goes through power objects regardless, and speed, you do need to jump to get to a rail, so...
You're gonna be charging that jump anyway to leave the ground.
Pretty much.
So have the stages been changed as well? We've been talking a lot about the characters and the gears. What about the stages?
Well, item RNG has been changed, but in terms of direct stage changes, the only 2 stages that have had any direct changes are Meteor Tech Sparkworks and Astral Babylon.
The big loopy stage.
Astral Babylon has these doors that would open when someone comes close to them, but as soon as that person passes, they start to close. And when their animation to close starts, it will not stop until it will not start to open until they have fully closed. This caused a lot of people in second or later to just bounce off the doors. So I made it so they never closed. Meteor Tech Sparkworks had a similar issue with its original door, but because it's literally a part of the stage, we couldn't remove it outside of just removing its collision.
So you can just phase through that door.
Yeah. It's the only door in the game that you can, but yes.
Someone told me this stage had 4 laps, but I see now that they're 5.
No, it does have 4 laps in time trial mode.
Ah. That makes a bit more sense.
It should have 4 laps in free race as well, but in time trial mode, the holograms actually have a set RNG, where the first one, alternating, it goes having a ramp to having a type shortcut, having a ramp to having a type shortcut. It makes it actually quite skill-based, and I've been trying to look into how to load that version of the stage in pre-race so I can unban the stage from competitive play. Because currently, as the Babylonian holograms are purely RNG, it has a relatively skewed competitive
Guess slipstream?
slipstream. You should have had a little bit more GP to GP them. Wouldn't
The
it?
robots are slow.
They are slow.
Skill issue.
It's just a skill issue. Just get better, Cyber. Although it is arguable that some stages can play a little differently because only in RG can any gear have multiple types.
Alright, we are halfway through the stream. Hope you guys have been enjoying so far. Half an hour left.
I did want to go over drifting and gravity burst a bit. Because drifting actually works relatively oddly in the original game, where it was exclusive to wheels and SCRGP, and you needed to jump and tilt in a certain direction. After that, you needed to lose 18% of your current speed to charge your drift, otherwise you'd stall, and stalling would set your speed to 120. In addition, having the drift flag made it so your gravity control got gimped really hard. Ah, Magic Broom. I always forget this gear exists, but it is a good gear.
See, all of its gear changes are red. Can't be a good thing.
All of them attack the opponent in various ways. Vision Trap obscures all your opponent's current vision. Parts Lock disables your opponent from gear changing or using Gravity Dive or Control. Status Trap slows them down and does the same thing.
Yeah. For a bit of a crazy skip there, listen. Get ball and chain.
You can actually remove ball and chain by jumping 3 times, just like the original Riders. GC Booster is a control gear that's more of a spammy gear, where you spam gravity control because it actually charges nigh instantly, and has a really high gravity control boost speed.
As you Silver just screaming.
Ha! Ha! Ha!
Inky scream.
Night Side Rush is actually one of GC Booster's best stages.
I am not to be trifled with. Gotta try harder.
But yeah, as I was mentioning, drifting. Now, there was also a pause after you finish charging your drift before it would actually cause you to boost. We have made it so you can drift on the ground. The speed requirement is significantly lessened. And there's no pause to actually drift boosting. There was actually originally a glitch introduced called Gravity Burst, where if you drift off the end of a ramp, it causes the ramp to not trigger. And if you tap gravity control while you are falling from this, you gain speed and height for some reason.
So it just like yeeted you if you gravity controlled off ramps after not taking them.
Specifically if you would tap gravity control, you couldn't charge it.
Oh, okay. I assume charging it would like make you do a normal gravity control.
Yes, Gravity Burst has since become a tech that was generally enjoyed by the competitive community and is actually relatively skill-based because the amount of speed you gain is relative to your current speed and how well you would drift off the ramp and timed your tap of gravity control. There were a lot of dependencies on how well you could actually do it. As such, in 1.0, I recoded Gravity Burst to be a mechanic. But I also severely nerfed it because the original incarnation of Gravity Burst was ridiculously overpowered. To the point where it actually invalidated other mechanics.
Just so I use it there on the left to skip it.
Yeah. Gravity Burst actually increments with your gravity control boost speed, and I have changed it so even though you can do a burst with no GP, doing so will cause you to go significantly slower than normal, and Gravity Burst is a little more situational than it used to be, simply because it's not always strictly better to do so. But this introduces a little bit more skill into the game anyway, I feel, simply because you're not just randomly going at 300 to 400 speed off of a ramp.
Yeah.
But certain...
Oh, I was about to say, I just noticed that Jet immediately dived there.
Oh yes, that's a special effect that Shooting Star has. It's one of our custom special effects, where Shooting Star skips the startup to the gravity dive and just goes.
I imagine that's quite fun to mess around with, to just shoot yourself off.
I'm not sure if Pixel actually went down here on purpose or not.
Yeah, on purpose.
What is going on up there?
Pixel went underneath the stage and is riding along the bottom of it like a floor.
Everything's a floor.
Because it's zero gravity. A lot of glitches that are triggered you really need to go out of your way for. So that is one such instance.
Just turn the underside of the stage into the floor. Real casually.
Yeah.
Why not?
Although as I was getting into drifting, drifting is generally, amongst the community, seen to be better than gravity control around corners, but that's not always true. Drifting, as well as gravity control, are relatively equally used, actually. But that's generally because of a little tech that gravity control has called Gravity Rocket. Where
cool
if
name.
you...
It's a cool name. I want to know what it does.
It's a weird thing where if you bonk on a wall while you're in the startup of gravity control, you actually keep all your momentum before you entered gravity control. And you can actually drift around the stage while gravity controlling. It also allows you to generally gain more distance. In addition to just the generally gravity control and drift being used in tandem for gravity burst, you have a gravity rocket as well as like gravity control for skips and latching onto rails. So while drift can be used around corners to great effect, it doesn't cost any GP to do so, great gravity rocket can actually get you around a corner just as well, if not better. in some cases. Although there are times where drift is generally better. Yeah, you can also use Gravity Rocket to skip ramps in the same vein as Gravity Burst, and in some cases, it's actually better to do so. Gravity Burst could also be used off of ledges, though, to help you go a little bit faster, which is a common thing to actually do.
So you just burst off of like a lip in the stage to give yourself a little burst of speed.
Yeah. It also helps to offset the speed you would lose from falling, because you're actually gaining a little speed and keeping it as you progress and land, because you're still moving a little bit faster than your top speed. So it really rewards you for doing it well. However, it can sometimes send you a little bit too far and careening to your death if you don't know how to angle it well. Much the same, you can actually gravity burst at the end of wall paths when they would flip you back to the normal ground.
What happened?
Dude, where's this music from? I've never heard this one before.
This is from Aquapazza.
Aqua Pizza.
I forget what the exact name of the track was. Was it convenience center or like shopping mall or something? I forget. It was some retail thing, huh?
I have no idea.
There are any Aquapazza fans? Let me know, because I like that song. I want it. I want to know.
That's Sigma.
Hey, that would be Sigma. He's the one who recommended it. Beginner, like Lightboard, is also a level up gear, but was more so modeled after the original riders, being having a 30 GP boost cost and leveling up similarly. Heck, it actually goes only a little faster than vanilla boost speeds at level 1 at 210, then it goes 230 and 250 respectively.
It's boost or 2?
Essentially. There was actually a glitch fixed here with drift that would happen in vanilla as well, where the torrential water actually messes with your character's rotation regularly, but it would also do this while you are drifting, and because drifting also messes with the character's rotation, it would cause your character to fling off in a random direction after you finish drifting. That no longer happens.
God bless. Purple tornadoes everywhere.
Yeah, gravity voids, they're actually quite useful. They can both be used to prevent an opponent from being able to hit you, as well as trying to slow an opponent down or block them out of a path. However, it does slow you down as well by 40 of your current speed, in addition to having a 25 GP cost or 15 ring cost.
It's very much a
the
risk
cost.
reward thing. You want to think about it before you use it.
Yeah, there's also a thing where you can't just spam it because you can only have 2 active at a time. If you place any more, the oldest GB you have will immediately disappear. And they only last for about 4 seconds before they vanish. They also dissipate on contact, unlike original tornadoes.
Oh, so they don't linger after someone hits them.
No, they are single use. Although this is generally better for 1v1, so you can make the most out of the 2 GVs you have active at any given time.
Yeah.
But with the addition of boosting as well as GV, this game has become rather GP tight, which is actually something that not a lot of people have experienced before. Because not only does boosting allow you to go faster, but it also allows you to interact with your opponent, but you also want to have a certain GP threshold to be able to deal with your opponent with GVs if you are already ahead.
Yeah.
Because it's actually very integral to have that GP thing. Because not only can they punish you if you don't by attacking you, and you not being able to do much anything about it, but they can also slipstream off of you.
Have you done anything with Slipstream? Or have you left it the same from vanilla?
The primary change to Slipstream is that all gears have the ability to Slipstream now, opposed to being exclusive to yachts.
Hello, Brogan.
But...
Is this Regravitified? This is Regravitified, yes.
Yes. Hello.
Yeah, we've just been discussing the many gameplay changes that have been introduced from vanilla to the patch, on top of some nice gameplay.
Yeah.
So if you do have any questions, do not be afraid to ask in the chat.
Big Bang is the boosting gear with a high boost cost but really fast boost speed. Airship is GP efficiency hybrid.
Hybrid in what way?
But it has a little bit of gravity control in it, but it also has a little bit of cruising, so it's kind of standard-esque, but its primary thing is having a little bit of everything, but also mainly being focused towards GP efficiency.
I see.
Because it gains a little bit of more GP from everything. It has a faster trick charge, and in addition to having like gravity control boost speed and turning and charge speed up. And like its last gear change increases its GP tank size, so it actually is quite well off in terms of GP efficiency. Oh wait, its GP gain up was removed. My bad.
Oh, so it used to do that, but not anymore.
Yeah. It's actually more of a control gear now than it used to be. It still has the faster trick charge, but its gravity control boosts faster and it charges faster as well as turns faster. So it has a really great gravity control. Meanwhile, Big Bang has a 70 GP boost cost, quite steep, but when it boosts with all of its gear changes, it can boost at 280 gravity dive speed.
That's pretty fast. I knew it was fast, I didn't know it was that fast.
Yeah. It can actually go faster under slipstream, as you might expect. Although Big Bang does have a bit of a problem with being able to GV because of its steep costs.
Oh, so it's not just boosts that cost much.
The GVs cost normal, it's just difficult to be able to use them because of how steep your boost cost is.
What do you have to do to get this game on a PC? You need a vanilla copy of Zero Gravity, and or an NTSC vanilla copy, I should say. And you also need to
actually,
get the patcher.
Well, yeah. Well, the current patcher, we have another patcher that we developed that works with any version, but
yeah, the patcher on the SHC website is more difficult to use than the patcher that we provide on our server. So if you want to have a nice easy patching experience, get the one on our server. It also comes with a couple extra benefits as well. And then once you have patched, any future updates will be done through the in-game patcher, which we haven't mentioned yet.
There is an option to check for updates, and it will actually connect to our server hosted by Sewer56. That downloads a custom save file. Well, it's technically a save file, but it's its own file type that is an update to the game. Although after updating, you do need to restart the game, of course.
Is this better than the original? We're gonna let you watch and see for yourself, but personally I think this is better than the original. The original game is very, very slow in comparison to this.
The original game is also very, very buggy in comparison.
How much work do you think you did just fixing bugs?
That's a good freaking question. Let me see. There was the bug fix for
just like as a rough percentage. Like if you took all of your codes, how many of them are bug fixes as a percentage?
Of the 13,000 lines, I'd say at least 500 of them are bug fixes alone.
That's a lot. But I'm sure there's more to come.
There's also quite a bit of quality of life things like meteor burst objects and gravity dive rings not setting your speed to 300, but rather being additive.
Yeah, but that's bug fixes from vanilla.
Yeah.
Not bug fixes alone.
Yeah, like Supersonic's Collision, as well as like No Clip in 90s Boulevard.
This game was pretty rough.
What else? I guess I didn't go over gear changes yet, because the gear changes available in the game have been completely revamped.
Yeah, you talked a bit about Throttle's gear changes, but...
Yeah. Like, obviously, boost speed is a new stat, as well as, like, gravity control charge time, and gravity control handling and all that.
Yeah.
But a few gear changes were removed, like ring cap up, and, auto wall run.
Auto wall run? That was a thing.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a really slow teleportation after you did a trick near a wall run that would just put you onto the wall run, but it didn't gain you any GP for doing so, in addition to just being sluggish, so it was really bad.
Have any changes been made to the R1 mechanic?
R1 mechanic?
I assume if you were playing on like a PlayStation 2.
It's gravity dive.
Gravity dive.
Oh, gravity dive? Yes. Well, the first change is it's 30 speed faster. The second change is your handling has been dramatically increased because there is a disparity between control between PS2/GameCube controller and Wiimote. So we have upped the control that the player has in general to compensate for that. In addition
no
to kind of
longer
needing
just-
to because the game's faster.
It's no longer just going in a straight line. You can actually turn somewhat while you're diving.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do actually have 5 minutes left, so questions, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's good to answer questions. Yeah, so I guess we'll do a quick recap, I suppose. So Gravity Dive has been completely, changed around a bit. Gravity Control has had a couple of tweaks. The boost mechanic has been added. The drift mechanic has been given to all gears. Yeah, L1 is boost. It's a new feature in RPG. So if you press L1, you will do the old boost, which I'm sure one of our players can showcase here. There you go, Sonic just did it.
Sweet.
Tornadoes have been added, which hopefully Sonic
we
can
call them
demonstrate.
gravity
after he
void.
does.
Oh, he doesn't have the GP. He needs to take the ramp. Well, so much for that, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, there are so many changes that it's kind of hard to go over in just 1 hour.
Yeah, there was actually some other changes I didn't have time to go over, like
It's
removing
the boss.
negative effects from gear changes, because in vanilla, like, GP gauge up would give you more, would increase your cost for diving and controlling. It was stupid.
And of course, we will finish with Mobius Strip.
Yeah.
And then I think after Mobius Strip, we'll just showcase the check for updates feature, and then call it a stream.
Yep.
Invalid read strip. Yeah.
All right. Bring it on.
Confused by what? Why are we restarting? I'm confused.
I assume they were going through the music. Why don't you just hold the button? You have the list.
How does what work? Do you want to know how to apply or how to get the game?
Or are you confused about how the game works itself?
How to download game on PC? You will have to acquire a game, a vanilla copy of Zero Gravity. That's all I'm gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you anymore. If you want to patch the game, I suggest you join the server and get the patcher from the server, because it is much easier to use.
That it is.
Yeah, basically every mechanic in this game has been made last time. On top of adding
Wasn't the
two-
square mechanic just break?
No, square is like gravity
Oh, gravity control?
control, yeah.
Oh. Oh right, Mobius Strip has broken item RNG because it uses a different table. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Lightboard can actually boost now.
Yeah, this so not all of the bugs were fixed. We can actually push an update for just this bug specifically.
Yeah,
You
we
guys
can
want to-
update the game whenever we please, and people can download it on their own time from within the game itself. They don't need to repatch the game every time we update it. It's actually quite nice.
Yeah, I will
Boost skips are not really a thing, actually. Gravity dive and gravity control skips are a thing, but they always have been. We just have a skip list of what we deem available for competitive play, and we host tournaments. For... Oh.
Yeah, so regarding tournaments for this game, I will be hosting a tournament for this game next week, not this weekend because I have VX tournament this week. But next weekend I will host a tournament for this game. Yeah, we are gonna...
I know we're wrapping up now.
Yeah, we are gonna finish up this one game, and then I will showcase the check for updates feature, and then we will be done.
Although, we do appear to be out of time now.
Do the boost and run into a red.
Sweet.
I don't know. It does some freak. Is it where your like hand glows?
No way.
Okay. Pixel, if you could hit check for updates. I know. I'm just saying. Go to the check for updates thing.
Oh. Pixel just closed the game. Okay.
Oh, well, okay. I will do that then.
Alright.
Not that big a deal. So yeah, let me showcase this real quick.
And then
we will be done.
we're done for today.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, now's the time to ask because we will be finishing up soon. But yeah, in order to update this game, instead of doing the patcher, you do the patcher once, you'll be put on version 1.0.1. And then you press this. Press yes. It will compare with the server version, and since I'm on the latest update, it will tell me that. If you're not on the latest update, it will tell you there's a new update, do you wish to download it now? Click yes, and then it will ask you to restart. And if you have WeSaved enabled, or WeSaves enabled on your Dolphin, then it will work.
Yep.
So yeah.
That is all.
Amazing work.
If you have any other questions, you can join our server or ask in the Sonic Hacking Contest Discord. I'm there as well. It was nice.
Self-update mostly works on hardware. You need to port the updates yourself, but the system does work the same. For whatever reason, the Wii doesn't like to download the update. But
yeah.
If you just move the updates over from your computer to the Wii, they will work just fine and it will update just like that. But yeah, if you guys want this mod, visit the server and get it there. Otherwise, any final words?
I don't want to go too far over time.
Fair enough. Well, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the mod and see you in the server.
These